for nothing, he is set to take an even bigger job in the White House. Politico reported on Sheriff Clarke resigning, and now it seems that he is taking a job with the Trump administration. The legendary Milwaukee County Sheriff resigned after months of whispers that he would be taking a position with the Trump administration. This is awesome news. Advertisement. The Milwaukee County Clerk's office has officially confirmed that Sheriff David Clarke turned in his letter of resignation Thursday. The letter didn't give a clear reason for his resignation, and it was kind of shocking to the Milwaukee County officials. Pursuant to Wisconsin Stat. 17.01, this communication is submitted as the notice of my resignation as Sheriff of Milwaukee County commencing August 31, 2017, Claire wrote in the letter. Clarke was sued earlier this month. Of course, it was in the case in which an inmate by the name of Terrell Thomas died in 2016 due to dehydration. This was in one of the Milwaukee County jails. The family accused the sheriff and the others involved in the apprehension and incarceration of Thomas of causing unconscionable pain and suffering and causing his death. Advertisement. The change in Mr. Thomas' condition was obvious to every jail employee who looked into his cell, including multiple defendants. However, not a single one bothered to call for help until it was too late to save Mr. Thomas' life, the suit reads. Clarke hasn't been very open about the case, as his legal team likely told him to keep silent on the issue. If the legendary sheriff takes a spot in Trump's White House, it would be a deep breath for Trump, who has offered him a position numerous times in the Department of Homeland Security. Clarke ended up withdrawing from consideration for the role a few weeks later. This is either due to the legal case or he is going to D.C. Most likely his allegiance to the Trump administration. What do you think of Sheriff Clarke going to the White House? Watch now. More. Related. Breaking News 24. Melania has a sharp message for her critics. You will be proud of her. Melania Trump has had it up to here with fake controversies and attacks on her and her family. The latest was a fake news controversy around her wearing stilettos to board Air Force One earlier this week. Of course, she changed them on the flight to Houston and wore appropriate shoes after landing, but in the midst of the devastation caused by Hurricane Harvey, the media just couldn't stop talking about her stilettos. And they didn't mean it in an admiring way. Well, now Melania has a sharp message for her distinguished critics. And it's perfect? Advertisement. POTUS and FLOTUS just boarded AF-1 to visit communities impacted by Harvey in Texas and Louisiana. Her message was simple: she boarded the flight wearing stylish, classy stiletto heels. Melania has a sharp message for her critics and supporters: I won't back down. This is a woman you can be proud of. She stands by her man and she doesn't backpedal from fake controversies. Eat it, fake news media. Melania Trump is the best FLOTUS ever, don't you think? Watch now. More. Related. Breaking News 24. Breaking: President Trump declares National Day of Prayer. In the wake of Hurricane Harvey's devastation, President Trump has declared this Sunday to be a National Day of Prayer. His call was joined by Texas Governor Greg Abbott, who has praised the heroic efforts of Texans to respond to the storm, which has already caused at least 46 deaths. The Christian Broadcasting Network reports, the proclamation from POTUS emphasizes faith in God and His promise in the face of such awful suffering. The Day of Prayer is all about clinging to God as our hope in this time of disaster. As response and recovery efforts continue, and as Americans provide much-needed relief to the people of Texas and Louisiana, we are reminded of Scripture's promise that God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. The proclamation continues. Governor Abbott also asked those of all faiths to pray this Sunday. The Day of Prayer is about thanking those who have done their part and praying for those who are still suffering. Abbott asked to keep first responders and all those involved in rescue efforts such as the military in your prayers. Abbott asked that America pray for the healing of individuals, rebuilding of communities and the restoration of the entire region struck by this disaster. Texas is a very religious state. According to Pew Research, 77% of Texans are Christian, 19% are unaffiliated or nothing in particular, and 4% are non-Christian such as Jewish, Muslim, Hindu, and Buddhist. Only 2% of Texans identify as atheists. In total, 63% of Texans consider their faith a very important part of their life. This Sunday, join our President's call to action and participate in a day of prayer for the people of Texas. Watch now. More. Related. Breaking News 24. Flashback. Watch Queen Elizabeth's heartbreaking statement to nation on Diana's death. Sadly, while Queen Elizabeth is well respected the world over, there are some haters who bombed her for not doing enough to prevent the Diana tragedy or by not properly grieving. It was a rough time for all of England and for the world, as Lady Di was loved the world over. Advertisement. Her death shocked the world, but it was the way it happened, running from the paparazzi, that added a misery to the tragedy. Because it didn't have to happen. And many blamed the Queen for not stepping and controlling both her son Charles and Lady Di when their marriage imploded. Advertisement. And then the media went nuts and claimed the Queen was not grieving properly, whatever that means. Which caused her to make a heartbreaking statement via her press secretary to explain that she had stayed away from the public mourning displays to be with William and Harry. But that wasn't enough, so in a staggering break with protocol she went on live TV to clear the air. In that vein, she is releasing another heartbreaking statement to head off any criticism before it starts as to how she will spend the 20th anniversary of Diana's death, which is going to be a big event in England. The Daily Mail revealed that Queen Elizabeth will spend the 20th anniversary of Princess Diana's death with Charles and Philip at Balmoral, away from all the crowds and public displays of affection, which she knows will make people start whispering again. Sad. That she even has to come out and say this to head off the haters is heartbreaking to be sure, but she knows that she can please everyone. The part of the royal family that made the voyage was very pensive as aides accompanied them on their way to Balmoral. Queen Elizabeth and her royal family were staying at a Scottish estate and decided to drive to the gravesite. The Queen was even driving, as was Charles and Philip. Throughout the day, the sea of tributes has grown, proving that the influence of the woman dubbed the People's Princess is as strong as ever on the 20th anniversary of her death. Even 20 years later, numerous citizens were still crying outside of Diana's former home. She had an impact on millions. There was even one woman seen stopping in front of the palace gates to think about Princess Diana and what she meant to the world. The memory of Diana seems to be getting stronger with time. On Wednesday, the Duke of Cambridge and Prince Harry paid tribute to their mother, looking at the flowers and pictures left at the gates of her former home. Taking an impromptu walkabout, they waved and smiled before taking a few minutes to read the cards and banners. Prince Harry seemed to be in good spirits as he saw a massive balloon that hoisted a picture of William and his mother while William was a young child. Diana's death at the age of 36 prompted the biggest outpouring of grief seen in Britain in recent times and is regarded as a key turning point in how the royal family relates to the public. Watch now. More. Related. Breaking News 24. Antifa thugs just got the worst news of their pathetic lives from Homeland Security. And so it begins. The Department of Homeland Security has officially classified the anarchist group known as Antifa as their actions as domestic terrorist violence. This is serious and is one sure way to get this group under control. Advertisement. Politico is reporting this bombshell, and it is a bombshell on so many levels. A reporter at Politico, which is a very reputable source, had access to confidential internal reports from the Department of Homeland Security. One of the shockers is that the feds were monitoring this group for a while, even when liberals were running the show, A true testament to the dangers of the group if ever there was. Advertisement. It was in that period, as the Trump campaign emerged, that we really became aware of them, said one senior law enforcement official. These Antifa guys were showing up with weapons, shields and bike helmets and just beating the shit out of people. They're using Molotov cocktails, they're starting fires, they're throwing bombs and smashing windows. These groups have been around for a long time, with their first big public show of defiance coming in Seattle in 1999 when the Black Bloc Brigade tried to shut down the World Trade Association meeting. It got violent real quick and the police were called in to literally outdown a riot. The situation has only grown more serious, as one prominent official said. Everybody is wondering, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna deal with this? Every time they have one of these protests where both sides are bringing guns, there are sphincters tightening in my world. Emotions get high, and fingers get twitchy on the trigger. Correct, it is a volatile mix when people driven by hate get together armed to the teeth. Former New York City police officer Brian Levin, who has been studying domestic hate groups for over 30 years and does so now at the Center for the Study of Hate and Extremism at California State University, San Bernardino said. Both the racists and a segment of violent Antifa counter-protesters are amped for battle in an escalating arms race, where police departments are outmaneuvered, resulting in increasingly violent, dangerous confrontations. It's an orchestrated dance. The rallies spill over into social media and then even more people show up at the next rally primed for violent confrontation. This is not good, folks. Look, we have the rule of law and violence and hate, and anything that breaks the law needs to be punished. Our system, while not perfect, has worked better than anything in history, and these people want to burn it all down? The Politico reporter quoted the Department of Homeland Security confidential report. At the Sacramento rally, Antifa protesters came looking for violence, and engaged in several activities indicating proficiency in pre-operational planning, to include organizing carpools to travel from different locations, raising bail money in preparation for arrests, counter-surveilling law enforcement using three-man scout teams, using handheld radios for communication, and coordinating the event via social media. In other words, these are organized chaos agents hell-bent on bringing down capitalism or whatever else they think is wrong with the world. Which is funny, because in 30 years, when the robots have taken all the jobs, we will most probably move to a system with certain basic incomes while still encouraging innovation through profit. Basically, capitalism and American democracy is an experiment and constantly evolving, so instead of fighting it, sit back and enjoy it or make it better. Winston Churchill's wise words from long ago: democracy is the worst form of government, except for all those others that have been tried, can be changed today so the Antifa punks can understand in plain English. Capitalism is the worst economic system, except for all the others.